Some say they're the worst thing ever, and some say they're incredible. So who should you trust about the AirPods Pro 3?
So we'll go through all the aspects of the AirPods Pro 3 in this video to help you make a decision. But if you've already bought them, there's a bunch of tips sprinkled throughout this video as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
All right, so let's start with sound quality, because that seems to be the number one thing people just cannot agree with on the internet. So take us through the story. What's Apple doing here?
So what Apple is doing is it's trying to give one particular sound signature for everyone. So they have something called adaptive EQ. So no matter how your ears are, it will sound the same to you or similar, which is not the case with all audio products, by the way. It really depends on the shape of your head and your ears. So it is one flavor. So, and it's like food. Like you may like one flavor of food, but that doesn't mean you're going to like everything else. And that's where the problem is. So the AirPods Pro 2 were a bit more neutral sounding. We won't go into any technical graphs here, but the Pro 3 are more V-shaped. What that means is more bass and more treble. So it sounds more punchy, it sounds more exciting. And a lot of audiophiles do not like exciting. They like neutral.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said for both cases. So that's the summary of what's happening on the internet. If you want a more exciting V-shaped sound, go for the AirPods Pro 3.
Yeah.
If you want a more neutral sound, the AirPods Pro 2 still do pretty well.
Okay, and in typical Apple fashion, they know what's best for you, so they don't actually give you any kind of EQ presets or EQ.
That's
EQs, right?
the super annoying part of it, yeah.
But
it's a Pro device, but there's no
Pro features. Yeah, or customization features.
Look, there's many ways to affect the sound of the AirPods Pro 3. You can go to your hearing app, your health app, through the hearing feature, say you have some hearing deficiencies and hope that it compensates, but that does not work like EQ. It works more like compression. Doesn't matter what that is. That's not exactly EQ. You can change things in headphones accommodations. This was there since the first AirPods. That also affects your sound slightly. Again, not EQ. The closest thing we can do without having a third-party app or EQ presets is toggle one particular toggle, which is
sound check.
Yes, that's right. So what that's basically doing is trying to flatten volume or normalize volume. And because of how the AirPods reacts to different volume levels, not going into the details, that might actually give you a slightly more neutral sound. So check out this option and turn it on. The volume will be normalized and you might also notice a less V-shaped sound.
Okay. Try it out. Let us know how you get along and let us know in the comments. But moving on to the design of the AirPods Pro 3. So again, you can get them in a ton of colors as long as it's white. That's the way Apple thinks is the best color. Yeah. I mean, they know what you want. Yeah. Apparently it's white. But yeah, I mean, you can accessorize it, which we will get into in a little bit, but they are IP57 rated. Now, this is no joke. First of all, IP57 on its own with that 5 and 7 dust and water resistance is pretty strong. On top of that, it's not just the buds, but it's also the charging case that has equal IP rating, and well done. The design dimensions looks initially very similar to the previous AirPods Pro 2, but they are not. They are slightly different. They jut out a little bit out of your ears, but also out of the case a little bit where they sit inside the charging case. But what that means is it gets a little bit annoying, right? So you have the AirPods Pro 2, you're upgrading, you have a bunch of accessories, they don't fit. So you got to go and buy new ones. And we all know how slippery these AirPods Pro
I think you especially know how slippery these AirPods Pro 3 are.
Why are you singling
Because in the first week, we had scuff marks on our case while you were testing these.
I can explain. No, I can't. Okay. Yeah. I dropped them in our first week. I'm ashamed. No, but I should have gotten...
That's my job.
Yeah. You're disappointed in me. But yeah, I should have gotten a case. But that's where our video sponsor, ESR, comes into the picture with 2 cases we have for you guys, which we're pretty happy about. One of them is from the Cyber series called the Flick Lock magnetic case, and the other one's from the Orbit series called the Hybrid magnetic case.
Yeah, this is the Orbit Blue hybrid magnetic case. This is the case I like a lot.
That's why it's on the AirPods.
That's why it's on the AirPods. It looks quite nice. And as opposed to the AirPods, you can do this.
Hey.
So they have flat sides. You can make them stand any way you like. It's nice, but they have many other benefits as well.
Correct. Yeah. So they work with magnets. We love magnets on both of them. This one just has the normal lid. The Cyber series one has a little like slider toggle latch thing that pops the lid open, which is very nice. And the thing is, guys, everything works, right? You have access to the lanyard. Speaking of which, the Orbit series gets you a wrist strap, whereas the Cyber series one comes with a carabiner clip. So that's nice. All the ports are accessible. You know, the speakers are open. Even tapping the front of the case, which you need to do if you want to put them into pairing mode or reset the headphones, also work through the case.
You're getting 9 different colors on the Orbit series. We have 2 colors here, the lavender and the dark blue. The dark blue is more my speed. And for the Cyber cases, we have the black and the titanium color. Not titanium material, but these are also pretty good. And this one has the carabiner clip. This one does not have it, but it's there in the box. You're also getting a tool to push the thing out of your case so that it doesn't, it's kind of hard because it's really snug.
Yes. Yeah.
And they even thought of that, plus a little brush to clean, etc. Really nice. And you get a certain level of drop protection as well. I would still not throw the AirPods very hard, but in general, you're getting more than the AirPods case provides you.
For sure. Could have avoided that scuff, you know. Then moving on to the comfort and fit of these buds. So the AirPods Pro 2s have always been very comfortable for me. Fit, good, but not the best. Now they've kind of...
And by fit, you mean how secure it is?
How secure they stay in your ears for workouts and things like that. And that obviously mileage varies here. Everyone's ears are different, so it's going to differ. But in my opinion, they've kind of flipped the two around. For me now, the AirPods Pro 3 fit a lot better because of the hybrid foam tips. I think you can explain what those are in a bit. But the comfort has gone down a little bit because I feel it push up against the ear canal a little bit.
Yeah, and comfort is very subjective, guys. So this is for us, but maybe for you guys different. Hybrid foam is nothing, but it's the same material on the outside, so it's silicone.
Yeah.
So allergies-wise, you're getting the same performance as the AirPods Pro 2. But inside, they've kind of infused them with foam, which means they kind of seal your ear better. They do better with noise cancelling passively as well, and it will also help your sound. So that's kind of where it is. It's also a different kind of twist, I think. The AirPods Pro 2 was more like this, and this you have to twist a bit differently. I mean,
one thing I was afraid of when they said hybrid foam is like how the Sony XM5s have it, right? With traditional foam is where you have to pinch the tips and then put them in the ear, wait for them to expand, and do all of that business, which is, you know, it's not fast, right? You pop open the thing, you just want to put them in your ear.
It's not only is it not fast, most people don't know to do that stuff. So
that's
even
true.
if you know it, 99% of people are going to just put it in and say, it's not working.
So, I love the implementation of what Apple has done here. And they've thrown in an extra size of tips this time again. Yeah. So they bumped it up from 4 to 5 tips in the box.
Very innovative.
Yeah, very innovation.
Yeah, AirPods Pro 4 is going to have 6 tips.
Yeah,
amazing. It's like the Gillette model of innovation.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, and the way you control the buds, nothing has changed here. It's still your stem style buds with pinch or pressure stems and strokey stroke for your volume controls. Yeah. They work well, right? I mean, they're like one of my favorite implementations.
It absolutely is. Especially when it's getting cold and you have gloves outside. Touch just stops working basically. Yeah. So there's that. And a little tip for you guys is you can change the sensitivity of that squeeze and the delay of the swipe in case it's not really working for you. So that's something.
I've always kept it on default. I enjoyed that. You too?
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, then the battery and charging situation has changed a little bit as well. Here, they've bumped up the battery life numbers on the AirPods themselves, gone up from 6 to 8 hours. But on the case, they've dropped it. So it's a bit less on the case now.
Yeah, and it really depends on your particular use case here, because if you're somebody who has very short listening sessions, then that's not going to matter. But if you're longer listening sessions, 8 hours is much appreciated. And if you're on a flight or something like that.
Which one do you prefer?
I prefer longer on the bud.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
The way the AirPods will tell you the battery level, apart from on your phone, is on with a little LED. And what's nice again about these ESR cases is that LED is visible through the case. So that's a nice attention to detail. And the way you charge these buds is through USB Type-C as well as wireless charging. And one thing that has always bothered me is that it's great that the wireless charging works with MagSafe chargers and with
Apple Watches.
The Apple Watch charging puck. But the problem is it never sticks like your phone does or your watch does.
Now it sticks.
So ESR is just like put in magnets into these cases so it actually sticks, which is kind of nifty. I mean, it just stays in place. But more than the funness of it sticking, let's say, it's that the magnets help align it to the MagSafe charger. So if you know anything about wireless charging, if the magnets are not aligned properly, there'll be a lot of inefficiency in the charging and it'll be
coils.
Worse. Yeah, worse for the battery. Then there's active noise cancelling.
Yeah. We can maybe start with what we tested, and then I can give you some
Yeah. So
exceptions to that rule.
I don't think the story has to be very long.
Yeah.
AirPods have been amazing for noise cancelling and transparency. They've just nailed the tech the moment they came into this space. So it's tier S for both ANC and transparency. Full stop.
And you have adaptive noise cancelling
And you have,
as well.
yes, yeah, which will adapt the level of ANC depending on your environmental noise. So if, again, there's a lot of noise, if suddenly, I don't know, you're next to a car road, it'll crank up the ANC, and then if you're in a quiet space, it'll bring it back down. So that works quite well.
Yeah, what I am noticing is I was on a bus ride on the way here. I was sitting in the back of the bus, and the AirPods Pro 3 with the loud engine sounds at the back, I mean, they're not that loud, but the ANC was it was very weird. It was quiet, and then it was this kind of rush of bass noise. It was quiet again, and again this. So it was like that kind of sound, and it was quite annoying to the point I couldn't listen to my podcast. And I was like, oh, did the AirPods Pro 2 have this as well? So I had them in my pocket because I'm testing both. I put them in, and it was fine. So it was there, but like to a much lower degree where it was not, disturbing. And I think there are always these edge cases that will exist. So it depends on what you're really using. Yeah. And the AirPods Pro 2 have had so many updates. So they are a much finer tuned product, I feel, than the 3 at this stage. The 3 might be the same in a few months.
Might be.
We already saw an update for the sound. So that's a little bit.
Yeah, very interesting, because we always test in very rather controlled environments, right? And we get to a conclusion, but then it's these kind of edge cases. So very curious, have you guys used the AirPods Pro 3 or the 2 even in a certain situation where you thought, hey, it doesn't actually do so well? I'm very curious to hear that.
And something about ANC and the tips, because these are foam tips, they do passive noise cancelling better than the older ones. So you can actually enable the off mode in your tips. So you don't have to have it on ANC or transparency all the time.
That's right.
You can also put it on off. A downside there is your hearing health features will stop working.
Okay.
So something to keep in mind.
Yeah. And again, a ton of people use these for calls. We have as well. Here, have a listen. This is a quiet mic test on the AirPods Pro 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. This is a noisy mic test on the AirPods Pro 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. This is a windy mic test on the AirPods Pro 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, they've got some software magic going on here. So they're doing a pretty good job at canceling out the background noise, wind noise, all of that. So the voice isolation is pretty decent, the tech behind that.
Nice.
Apart from that, for the Fuckman, you get a couple of controls straight from the buds. You can mute the microphone by just squeezing that stem. The swipey swipe for volume controls also still works. You can change the ANC mode that you're in. There's also head gestures, so you can nod to answer and shake your head to reject calls. So all of that works. A tip here, though, guys, is that I think with the introduction of the AirPods Pro 3, they've now enabled the microphones on the AirPods to be used while you record video on an iPhone. So kind of cool for content creators.
Yeah, because the mics are really good now.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So if you're out and about and you need to record something real quick.
Yeah, and if you're at a distance from your phone, usually the phone won't catch your sound. But yeah, here you can walk into your phone and have a cool shot like that.
Yeah. Cue the B-roll.
Cue the B-roll. Yeah. There are a bunch of extras as well on the AirPods Pro 3, as expected. But I think the biggest standout compared to the 2 is the heart rate sensor. And it's pretty accurate from what we hear and from what the internet seems to suggest. Yeah. But then you also have the hearing aid features, which is like only on the Pro models and it's pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good. And there's a bunch of other things you can do, right, with these in terms of extras.
Yeah, but a tip with the, what's it called? The live listen feature. You can even add it as a control center, like let's say shortcut. And basically, I think the intention was that if you're hard of hearing and you need to hear everyone a little bit more, let's say amplified in terms of volume, you place your phone on the table, you put your AirPods in, and then you turn this feature on and everything is amplified. But people also call it spy mode. You can leave your phone in the room somewhere or turn that feature on, walk out with your AirPods and then listen in on the conversation.
Slimy as
Do with that what you will.
Yeah.
Live translation?
Yeah, we don't have that mode.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not yet released in Europe. Live translation, it's certain geographies only.
Yeah.
So
I'm not here, unfortunately. Yep. Conversation awareness, pretty cool feature. Better name than speak to chat, right?
yeah, much better. Yeah, Sony.
Yeah. So basically, if you have the buds in, you're listening to audio, you happen to have to talk to someone, it'll recognize that, kick into transparency mode, and then reduce the volume of your audio. So pretty nifty.
Right.
We talked about the head gestures. There's also wear sensor, so it'll automatically pause your audio if you take one out and resume it when you put it back in your ears.
Yeah, and it's not an optical one, but a skin sensor.
Okay.
So it's not just based on light. You can't just cover it with a sticker and fool it.
Why would you do that?
For testing. It's really hard to test these here.
Audio tester.
Yeah. So, and last but not least, these have Apple Magic Sauce, wherein they can connect to all your Apple devices with the same Apple ID.
Just works.
On the fly, which is supposed to just works, but it doesn't always just works. No. So
the English doesn't work either.
One tip we have here is if there's a device that you share with people or you're not often using. Let's say I have a Mac, a phone, an iPhone, and an iPad. And your iPad is often used by a kid or whatever, or somebody else in the house. You don't want it to automatically connect to that. You can go into the settings of that particular device and say, don't connect automatically. That really helps sort out this kind of multi-device life with the AirPods. And the second tip is if you have things outside the Apple ecosystem, what kind of weirdo are you? You have an Android phone? You have something called Pull Connect. So you don't have to put these into pairing mode every time. You can just go to the Bluetooth menu of, say, your Samsung phone, which you've paired with before, choose AirPods, and it just pulls the connection directly.
Super underrated. So that was it. But should you be spending your hard-earned $250 on the AirPods Pro 3? But before we go into that, a big thanks to the sponsor of this video, ESR, for sending out their products. They're actually not very expensive and protect your AirPods, which cost $250. So check them out. The links are in the description down below. And a big thanks to all of you guys, our viewers, subscribers, and all of you folks on the Tested tier for our Patreon and YouTube memberships.
And to these lovely Fakman tier supporters, we have a new one, Croxland. Hey, welcome. Rachel, Rads Panda, and Paula. All of you guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay. $250. $250. You spending it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if the AirPods Pro 2 are phased out, yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, the AirPods Pro 2 do really some things better, like that weird ANC thing I talked about, the sound, the noise cancelling is just, they say 4 times better. Yes, it is better. How much better?
Yeah.
And the mics are fine for me. Yeah. I don't know. The AirPods Pro 2 for me are good enough. These are not clearly a superior product for me.
Correct.
They are better, but it's not like everything is better.
And it didn't blow me away as much either. I think the AirPods Pro 2 did. I think the jump from the Pro to the Pro 2 was very big. To the Pro 3, not as much for me.
It's not a Pro product either. It's like, where's the customization, guys?
Where's Apple? That EQ?
They have given you like so much customization on all the tips we talked about. But sound?
Still, on its own, still an amazing product. But if you're on the Pro 2, check if you really need the upgrade. May not be the case. Okay, if you want to check out his review of the iPhone 17 Pro after the hype and after the return window, click here.
And if you want to check out his review of the iPhone Air after the hype, click here.
Do we?